In a surprising turn of events, coal miners in West Virginia have come out against their Senator, Joe Manchin. Of course, this is over his opposition to the Build Back Better Act, which Joe Manchin claims he's against it because of the working class in West Virginia. They don't want any help at all. They don't need an extension of child tax credit. They don't need any other help. They don't need these provisions that are going to help coal workers. No, none of it. Of course, he's full of crap. He's doing this for himself, his own pocketbook. He doesn't care at all about the Build Back Better Act. So why back it when it directly would impact his wealth in the coal industry as a wealthy multimillionaire with a company in the waste coal industry, driving his Maserati to his luxury yacht? What a great guy. So the UMWA, the United Mine Workers of America, and their president, Cecil Roberts, put out this statement saying why they support the bill and want Manchin to back it. Writing here, the Build Back Better legislation includes several items that we believe are important for our members and their communities, some of which are part of the UMWA's principles for energy transition we laid out last spring. The bill includes language that would extend the current fee paid by coal companies to fund benefits received by victims of coal workers' pneumoconiosis or black lung. But now that fee will be cut in half, further shifting the burden of paying these benefits away from the coal companies and onto the taxpayers. The bill includes language that will provide tax incentives to encourage manufacturers to build facilities in the coal fields that would employ thousands of coal miners who have lost their jobs. We support that and are ready to help supply those plants with a trained professional workforce. But now the potential for those jobs is significantly threatened. The bill includes language that would, for the first time, financially penalize outlaw employers that deny workers their rights to form a union on the job. This language is critical to any long-term ability to restore the right to organize in America in the face of ramped-up union busting by employers. But now there is no path forward for millions of workers to exercise their rights at work. For those and other reasons, we are disappointed the bill will not pass. We urge Senator Joe Manchin to revisit his opposition to this legislation and work with his colleagues to pass something that will help keep coal miners working and have a meaningful impact on our members, their families, and their communities. And they also go on to support the voting rights legislation that Manchin right now is also blocking. So, yeah. Man of the people, Joe Manchin. So they cite several reasons here. I mean, the energy transition plan, so they are for a transition away from fossil fuels into other industries. They realize they have to do that, and they are ready to supply their workforce in the process of doing that. So including, for example, the tax incentives that were mentioned there to employ workers, that is incentives targeted at blue-collar workers in the fossil fuel industry to get them jobs in solar and wind power. Also mentioned there, of course, coal companies having to fund benefits for victims of black lung. Manchin, as a wealthy coal executive, I'm sure, of course, is against that for obvious reasons. He doesn't want to lose money in that process, so he's perfectly fine to see that run out. And penalizing anti-union employers. Of course, Manchin is anti-union, apart from this union that he has pretended to be in support of. But he's been largely anti-union his entire career. So not all that surprising to see Manchin be against the bill with all these things in it. But now this exposes Manchin's big lie that he is doing this for the West Virginia voters, doing it for the coal miners who are against you and want you to support it. Going on. I saved this tweet because this is in reference to him pretending to care about miners in relation to the black lung aspect of this. But he wrote here on December 6th, our brave West Virginia coal miners work every day to keep the lights on and power our nation's economy. On this National Miners Day, please join me in thanking our coal miners for their service and praying for their continued safety. But when it comes to coal companies funding benefits for victims of black lung, get the hell out of here. Nope, need more money for my luxury yacht and my Maserati. Manchin, of course, all he cares about, his own wealth. Manchin has made millions from coal, his ties to the coal industry facing examination. This is from CNN, but this has been reported on countless times by other outlets before CNN ever got a hold on it. But yeah, he has a company in the waste coal industry. His family has a company in the waste coal industry. That's how he makes a ton of money. Clear conflict of interest here when it comes to his votes and climate change legislation, but apparently it's perfectly legal. Moving on. So this is worth mentioning here because this may emphasis on may have an impact on Manchin because he's apparently had a close relationship with this union as he was named an honorary member of the union last year and has worked with Cecil Roberts, the president, to secure pensions for coal mining retirees. Senator's ties to the industry make Roberts' statement a big step toward potentially pushing Manchin to reconsider his position, as Kim Kelly, a Labor reporter, tweeted. I still don't think it's going to do anything. But if it does do something, it's not because Manchin actually cares about the workers. It's simply because he wants to keep up appearances. He wants to be able to say, I'm doing this for the coal miners, when in reality, of course, all he cares about is his wealth and his image. So if he does this to boost his image, whatever. I mean, regardless, if that's the reason he supports it, who cares? As long as he supports it. But just to be clear, Manchin does not care about the working class. He would simply be doing it to keep up appearances. Moving on here. So, as I said, voters in West Virginia support the Build Back Better Act. I brought this poll up before, but here you have data for progress. They supported by a plus 43-point margin. Very few things in politics have this kind of support. In fact, I would say the vast majority of bills that pass don't have a majority of support because a lot of it is to help massive corporations. Well, here you have a majority of voters in West Virginia, I mean, let alone the entire country, but in West Virginia, supporting this. But no, Manchin is against it because the voters of West Virginia, they don't want it. This from Common Dreams. So this also came out recently, displaying inhuman disdain for working families. Manchin said child tax credit would be used for drugs. This apparently was something he said behind the scenes, and it was leaked out now since he came out against the bill. And exposing him for the horrible person he is, as mentioned here by Nate on Twitter. So the guy who drives a Maserati to get to his yacht is worried poor people will use the child tax credit for unnecessary luxuries. Did I get that right? Great tweet here by Mr. Nate. Why did I not like this? Here you go. But of course, that isn't the case. Even if it was the case, I mean, it's not. But here is the actual reality. According to the Social Policy Institute at Washington University in St. Louis, among Manchin's constituents in West Virginia who received the child tax credit, more than half used the payments to buy groceries. 39% said some of the payments went to buying clothing. 38% said they used them to pay essential bills. And more than a quarter reported using the child tax credit to help with rent or mortgage payments. So it actually goes to help people. Obviously, because these people are struggling. They need the money to live. But no, Manchin is concerned about a tiny child tax credit. Meanwhile, he's driving around in his Maserati to his luxury yacht. Unfreaking believable how disconnected the man is and just does not care. It's blatant. It's out there. It's obvious. He's on camera driving his Maserati to his yacht. Like, we all know. But still comes out and pretends he's against the bill because of the working class in West Virginia. What a liar. But there you go. Will this move him? I tend to think no, but we will see. Again, if he supports it, if he ends up coming out to support this bill, it's largely going to be because he wants to keep up appearances for his pretend support of the working class. But regardless, we're going to have to wait and see.